Get over here!
It is time for me to be on my way, my friends. As the Princess of Ralston, I still have many duties to perform. Oh, Princess Erica. If it please you, I would be ever so delighted if you joined my tea club. I insist that you come. Oh, say you will, won't you?
Aww. Larshell's tea club sounds so fun.
I actually would enjoy having tea with her. I have much to do here in Johanna. I'll start with what can be done and keep going from there. First, I must talk to Mother. She should know that we've won, so that she can rest easily. Godspeed, Joshua. We of Frelia will do what we can to aid in the restoration of Renee. If you have need of our assistance, you have but to ask. I seldom trust people who act from purely altruistic motives, but I'll grant you that friendships are a worthy exception to my distrust.
Wow, what a guy.
Asshole.
Erica's gonna marry him.
We finally made it home, haven't we?
You must be exhausted after the journey. Shall we rest, Erica?
That would be nice. But first we must seal this away. This stone banished the Demon King. With such power, do you suppose we could bring back Father and Leon? That everyone who died in this dreadful war could be...
Erica.
I know. Such things would be... I cannot wish for such things. No matter how it hurts, or rather because it hurts, we must learn to accept sorrow. We must take it into our hearts and tame our grief.
Erica, tell me, sister. If Leon were here with us, what do you think he would want?
What he would want?
Yes. You see, I think I know. It was the reason for his studies. It's why he wanted to know about the sacred stones, or rather, the fire emblem. Let's take Leon's dreams and fulfill them in his stead. We can do that, can't we? Without relying on any mystic power?
You're right, brother. We can. Let us fulfill his dreams. As Leon wanted, as we all want. So we may live in peace and joy.
We can't cure all illness, but we can fix the socio-economic plight.
I do kind of appreciate the fact that even after everything that she's been through, Erica still has that small tinge of weakness.
Yeah.
But, she has the fortitude to put that aside. That was Queen Ishmir, by the way. Yeah, these are cool. These are really sick. So that's Larshell, Dozla, and the guy that got away. That I believe is Volter versus Seth, I believe.
Yeah.
I think is when Seth got injured. Training with the Renee Knights. Yeah, I actually forgot that they had these in the credits.
Yeah, pretty cool. I wonder if these were, planned to, be in the story, and then at some point they decided to save them for the credits instead.
Probably. So, yeah, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the epilogue of Let's Play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. I'm the Green Scorpion.
I'm the ComicFoil.
And, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, overall, fantastic game. Is it as good as, some of the other games on the series? Honestly, I'd say it's, if I were to put my, honest opinion on Sacred Stones, I'd say it's kind of middle ground.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy entry in the series, but it's not going to be very many people's favorite.
Yeah, definitely not. Still, I think it's a good enough game in its own right.
Yeah.
I definitely would play this over something like Shadows of Valentia or Thracia 776.
It's easier to play than Shadows of Valentia.
Oh my god, it's easier to play than Thracia 776, but then again, any game in the series is easier than Thracia 776. I do, what I like about Sacred Stones overall is the fact that it's not afraid to get dark, it's not afraid to get complicated, it's not afraid to, tackle some of the more nuanced topics, as we've seen throughout the entirety of it. I've noticed that a lot of it has to do with the idea of dealing with grief.
It really is a tragedy more so than most Fire Emblem
Very
games.
much so.
Oh, Are you... My name is Leon. Uh-huh, that's me. The son of the Emperor. You're Prince Ephraim and Princess Erica from Renee, aren't you? I heard you were coming, and I've been waiting here all day. I've always wanted... I don't have any friends my own age. So, Prince Ephraim? Princess Erica? What do you say? From now on, let's be friends.
Damn.
Like, that is, like, the core of the story.
Yeah,
is the relationship between those three.
And I like that is another thing that I will give this game very much credit for, is the fact that, as a villain, Leon is fantastic.
I like Leon a lot.
Like, I think he's a great villain, personally. So, here we go. Seth, wounded at the victims of war, but remained until the end. Man, that sucked.
Franz the Faithful, he continued to serve Renee with the same devotion he had during the War of the Stones. Forgot how slow this text scroll is.
Yeah.
His generous nature and easy smile made him a favorite among the people.
Franz did great. Like, very, very consistent throughout the entire playthrough. Gilliam returned to his home of Frelia, where he continued to serve the crown as a faithful knight. Yeah, just give it a minute. His imposing countenance was said to strike fear in the hearts of even the most arrogant and brash of Frelia's new recruits. He would. He would.
Yeah, I would not feel confident around...
Oh, Mulder.
Who's this guy?
Oh, yeah, like, but how long have you been here?
Mulder, wise counselor. After the War of the Stones, Mulder continued to serve the royal family of Frelia. His wisdom served to guide King Inez as it had served King Hayden before him.
Now, you, on the other hand, did great throughout this entire playthrough.
Just a solid unit.
Dutiful rider, she remained on active duty as an airborne knight of Frelia's army. Her beauty and determination became the standard to which her fellow knights aspired. Ross the boss! Oh man, this guy did amazing.
He returned to Ide, a village of his youth, and helped rebuild it after the bandit attack that brought it to ruin. Years later, he set out on his own to perfect his fighting skill and hone both body and spirit.
So he doesn't have an ending with loot, huh?
Nope.
Damn. Oh well. It was actually really interesting for me to not have a playthrough without Garcia, because I almost always use Garcia when playing this game.
Yeah.
He returned to Ide to help with its reconstruction after the bandit attack. Afterwards, he re-enlisted in the army, serving Renee as a troop leader. His strength and valor and experience inspired many. Hi.
Died at victims of war.
Damn, I'm sorry, Colm. Hi, Naomi. I'm sorry.
Naomi, the tearful archer. She returned to her village and passed her days in peace and quiet. Years later, she traveled to the capital of Renee as an archery instructor for their military. She never could resist a good cry.
Well, she made something of herself, which is always good.
Yeah, I like Naomi a lot. I sad we didn't use her.
Yeah, no, like, we pretty much, like, resorted to Inez once he came around because she just, like, fell back. Artur moved to Renee to help rebuild the shattered country. He worked without rest to ease the pain and grief of those who suffered during the war. His self-sacrifice made him into a folk hero among the peasantry.
Oh, folk hero Artur.
He's a hero of the people, man. I don't like you, but damn were you amazing throughout this entire game. She's a great unit, I'm not gonna deny that.
After the War of the Stones, Lute returned to Renee to continue her arcane studies. She spent far less time locked in her library, preferring now to explore the outside world. She grew into a great and well-traveled sage.
That's growth right there.
Oh, hey! Special ending.
Yep, Joshua the Tempest King and Natasha the Sacred Healer. When Joshua returned to Johanna, he took Natasha as his bride and claimed the throne as its rightful heir. Natasha was the perfect companion, and together, they carried the mighty desert nation to great glory. How about that? Natasha going from a simple Grado cleric to the Queen of Johanna.
Ford. Upon Ford's return to Renee, his secret hobby of painting was discovered. He was commissioned as a court artist. His work grew popular, and his days became so busy that he often regretted his career change.
Ford came through for us quite a bit, like, during the early game, so, like, I'm glad he stuck around.
We should get Ford and Ignis together.
Absolutely. Kyle, the Ardent Knight. His service to the royal family of Renee continued without change. He became battalion commander and gained much trust and responsibility for training new recruits.
Not much to say about Kyle.
Yeah, not much to say about Tana either, unfortunately. I love Tana as a character, and I think she's great. We just didn't use her.
Yeah.
We basically resorted to Vanessa.
Tana lived happily in the prosperous post-war Frelia. She flew to Renee often to visit
Her friend Erica. Not much
That's
to say!
so short!
Come on, man! Don't do Tana dirty like that! Cyrene continued as a commander of Frelia's Pegasus Knights. Her grace and beauty in flight were the subject of many songs and paintings, and her popularity soared, just like she did. Amelia, another character that I wish we could have used, but we just did not get the chance to.
Following the war, she returned to Grado to assist in her country's reconstruction. She surrounded herself with new friends and used the strength she found on the battlefield to live her life in happiness. Kind of vague, but, you know, nice.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Dusel. We didn't use Dusel as often as we expected, but again, came through for us like when we needed him.
He was like a frontline filler.
Following the war, Dusel returned to Grado, where he was instrumental in its rebuilding. He spent his remaining years watching over Grado and sharing his wisdom with other nations as an expert combat instructor. I'm sorry, Noel.
Yeah.
Null
and void.
Ouch. Ouch. Cormag!
I like Cormag a lot, too. I usually run him.
Yeah, super cool character.
Cormag returned to Grado to assist in the reconstruction of his country. Shortly after, he left to wander on his own. When he reappeared, he rejoined the army not as a knight, but as a common soldier.
The dude is a humble fighter, and he knows that.
Really
so.
separated himself from Glenn.
Yeah. Lara Shell, the Queen of Light. She succeeded her uncle as ruler of the Roston theocracy several years after the war ended. She never lost her unique perspective on life. She spent much of her rule visiting the neighboring countries. I would expect nothing less from Lara Shell. Absolutely.
It's kind of a crime we didn't use Lara Shell more.
It really is, because she's so
great.
she's so integral to the story too. Like, seriously.
Dozla, as Lara Shell rose to become queen, he remained by her side. Watching Lara Shell grow to become the queen she was destined to be was Dozla's greatest joy in life.
Like, no one's gonna mess with Lara Shell when you see this big, bulking bruiser next to him. Garrick the Desert Tiger and Tethys the Beloved Dancer. Garrick and Tethys remained bound to no nation and beholden to no authority. They bought themselves a leisurely retirement. Garrick taught fencing to the city youths, and Tethys found many stages on which to dance. That's a success story right there. Like, they made their name as mercenaries and lived the good life.
Ewan continued his studies, modeling his life after the teachings of Sade. Eventually, his education branched off into different paths. His insatiable curiosity led him on a trip to explore the world.
Interesting. That's actually kind of funny because, like, that is a possibility that can happen if we make him a druid.
Yeah.
Or, like, a shaman, which is also always really cool. Marissa, the Crimson Flash. Marissa became battalion leader of an elite mercenary force. Many men sought to challenge her to a duel, and none of them stood up to her blade. Sade, like Dusel and Ford, came in when we needed him, and I'm really glad he did.
Yeah. Sade returned to Caer Pelin, where he remained a faithful servant of the Manakete. His days were not spent in isolation, though. Many of the friends he met during the War of the Stones came to visit his village.
Hey, the man branched out and he made friends. Oh, they do have a special ending!
How about that?
Wow, okay. Ephraim, Restoration King, and Myrrh the Great Dragon. After the war, Ephraim returned to Renee and Myrrh to Darkling Woods. They both turned their attention to their respective duties, but never forgot one another. Though Myrrh never again left Darkling Woods, Ephraim often visited her. Wow.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to stay in Darkling Woods and guard that.
You know what? I can respect that one. That's a really nice ending. And finally...
after the reconstruction of Renee, Inez challenged Ephraim to a duel. The match ended in a tie. After the fight, Erica acknowledged her love for Inez, and the two were wed with Ephraim's blessings.
Oh my god.
Even though Inez clearly learned nothing.
Oh my god. Gosh darn it, Inez. And that is that, everybody. Let's Play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones Iron Man run has truly come to an end.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us on another one of these.
So what might our next plans be, if you want to, like, speculate on that?
So whatever Fire Emblem game we play next, there's basically 3 different routes I'm thinking.
Yeah.
One of them is to go back,
Mm-hmm.
which I would want to figure out a good emulator for if we were to do, like, Binding Blade or something.
That would be cool. Like, I would like, when it comes to, what we can possibly do for the next Fire Emblem game, I would like it to either be Binding Blade, if we can get a good emulator, or if we wanted, another possibility for emulator is, Shadow Dragon.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we've actually had quite a few people in the comments interested in us doing a Shadow Dragon run.
You know, I don't have, like, a solid memory of Shadow Dragon, so I think that would make that one very fun, too.
Mm-hmm. We would just have to find a way to actually play it, like, with, like... I know the original is, like, accessible on the Switch, like the original Famicom version. But if we were to play Shadow Dragon, I would prefer it to...
version.
Yeah, I would rather we get, like, the updated version.
Same with Awakening, I would just want to figure out emulation for.
Mm-hmm. And in the same vein, New Mystery of the Emblem.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we do Shadow Dragon, I believe, like, we like, just like we did Tellius, we would like to move on to Mystery of the Emblem.
I've never played New Mystery.
Really, really cool. I think it does basically everything Shadow Dragon does, but better. There are a couple things that, like, irk me about it, but nothing too crazy. Another possibility, if we want to do something a little more accessible that we know for a fact we can do, is, one of the newer titles.
Yeah, 3 Houses or Engage.
Mm-hmm. I actually would not be entirely against doing an Engage run.
I could do either of those, honestly.
Because, like, we've made no secret that we're not too big on Engage.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be ready for me to complain a lot, but also I'll get, like, Stockholm Syndrome and start saying nice things about it, too.
Additionally, like, the game itself is well-designed gameplay and visual-wise. The game is pretty, and it is fun to play.
Very fun battle system.
We're just not going to necessarily have too much to say. No, we're gonna have plenty to say.
I'm gonna have a lot to say about the story.
Yeah, honestly. 3 Houses, I think the main concern with that one is the branching story path that we would run into.
Yeah.
That would also be the issue with Fire Emblem Fates, if we ever decide to do that.
Yeah.
But, no, plenty of Fire Emblem games that we have access to that we would love to do. I also wouldn't mind doing Shadows of Valencia. Like, that game is bullshit, but that would also make for a fun run.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
fun.
Like,
it's a fun game.
It is a fun game because of, like, how much bullshit there is.
Yeah.
For those of you wondering, we're going to wait and see if we can ever tackle Genealogy of the Holy War or Thracia 776, because we consider ourselves Fire Emblem veterans, but Iron Manning those games?
I feel like the day we start recording a Let's Play of Genealogy, Nintendo is going to announce a remake.
I know, right? Ugh.
It's gotta be coming.
Like, people have been speculating that we might get a remake of Sacred Stones.
Yeah, I can
which
see that too.
I honestly wouldn't mind at all. Like,
wouldn't be my first choice for a remake, but, like, I would enjoy it.
My first choice would be Binding Blade, personally.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no. My first choice would be Genealogy, because I think that game could really, really do for, like, an HD remake.
Yeah.
But if we're talking, like, accessibility and something that, like, more audiences would enjoy, people tend to be more aware of Binding Blade nowadays.
Yeah.
As for other plans that we have, for the channels, I know on my channel, I'm going to continue doing some other Let's Plays. I have a couple plans that, I want to do on this channel before we move on to another Fire Emblem title. Obviously, I'm still playing Blasphemous, and I'm thinking of maybe doing a Let's Play with Amber, where we play through Song of the Sea.
Nice. Which
is going to be really cool. For those who want more ComicFoil, and I'm going to be joining him on this one too, go over to his channel because, not only, he's playing through Ori and the Will of the Wisps right now.
Yep.
He just finished Crosscode, I believe.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was big. That was awesome, by the way. And, very soon, we are going to do a playthrough of New Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
So,
because
look
Oscar's
forward to
never
that.
actually played it.
I mean, I played it a little
You
bit,
played
but
it a little bit, but
yeah, I've never actually played a
front to
genuine,
back.
cover-to-cover playthrough of that game, so I want to experience that.
Yeah.
Alright, so that pretty much does it for us, everybody. So, I'm the Green Scorpion.
I'm the ComicFoil.
And thank you once again for joining us for Let's Play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. Have a good night, everybody.
Where would you rank this on our scale of how bad a Fire Emblem playthrough has gotten?
This one's not terrible, honestly. Like, we made a lot of stupid mistakes, but for a hard mode run, I think we did just fine.
Yeah, it had one scary chapter when we lost Seth and Combe, but after that it was pretty under control.
For the most part, we did lose Noel because of a dumb oversight, and we
Yeah.
almost lost Gilliam. Like, let's be honest, there were a couple of instances where we did run into the dice roll basically like saved us, like the one thing with Vanessa.
Yeah.
But nah, this one ran pretty well, all things considered.
Nothing
so.
beats that stretch of Radiant Dawn where we lost 3 people in 3 chapters.
Don't remind me.